Hi guys, welcome back to SHKExcelWorld. I am Salim Haider and I am back with yet another part of the series, which is financial modeling with SHKExcelWorld. So in previous videos, we have mostly covered all of those formulas which help us in making the financial model dynamic and making our assumptions more realistic and not general. Today we will talk about one of the most important elements of the financial model, if not the most, which is revenue and obviously its related assumptions. So revenue is something which the business owner wants to project on a higher side because the person wants to attract finances. But on the other side, if we talk about the investors, they also want to look at how the revenue is going to be generated and more importantly, what are the assumptions used in that projection. So here things become more interesting because we want to know the business sense behind the financial model. So there can be different businesses like manufacturing concerns, service industry, or even trading firms. So for simplicity, we will talk about a trading firm, and you will know if you have downloaded the financial model, which is freely available. If you haven't downloaded it by now, you can download it from the link given below in the description. So there are so many things which you must be careful about while setting up assumptions for revenue in your financial model. So let us ask certain questions. So what you want to sell into the market, is it a set of products, means is it a portfolio, or you will sell individual products into the market? So what this will imply is that you will know about the demand of the product individually or the portfolio as a whole. So you will estimate the quantity sold based on the demand of the product from the market. So you may know the product if it is already in the market. You may know it, the demand from the surveys or the competitor data or your own historical data and so on. While setting up assumptions for demand, there can be different scenarios. Like you may say that the demand is linear throughout the life, although it is unrealistic, but it may be true for some of the products or the portfolios. Secondly, you may follow the life cycle of a company. Like in the infancy stage, the demand is lower, and afterwards, after incurring some marketing expenditure or when the product is well known, the demand rises and reaches a maturity stage, and then later on till the end of the life cycle it declines. So this can be another scenario, and there is another scenario which we have incorporated in the financial model, which is that the demand is rising slowly or very fast track, but we are pacing up or sequencing our production every nth year for each individual product. So this can be another scenario. So once you are done with the demand and the quantity sold or the quantity produced, you can decide about the price. But be careful that the sale price has a direct impact on the quantity sold or the demand of the product. So if you set the sale price too much high, the demand may decline. So you have the sale price, and now what about the sale price? How is it going to increase in future? So this can be in line with the inflation percentage, or you may set up separate assumptions for the increase of the price, which may be in line with the life cycle of a company. Maybe it is a slow increase initially, then a fast increase, and then it will decline in future, or maybe the price may be reduced later on. Let us implement all of these things in the financial model and see which formulas help us out. So guys, this is the file we are using today. This is the same file we used in our previous video. You can still download it from the link given below in the description and follow along. And we are going to follow the sequence we taught in introduction to this video. Let us go to the assumptions and see what we have here. So you can see here that there are products from A to F, and for each product we have a sale price per unit, which is the sale price for the first year. Then we have quantity mix for first year, And for that we have multiple options. So this is one quantity mix, which is option 1. Then we have the second one, third one, and in each case we have different quantities for each product type. So there are blank cells as well, in which the user can add in more options or more quantity mixtures. And as we discussed in intro to this video, that the quantity sold or the demand is going to change in future. So for this particular financial model, we have assumed that it is going to, for the product A's quantity sold is going to increase by 10% every third year. So there can be different assumptions. Then product B's quantity sold will increase 5% every fourth year, and so on. You can see the other assumptions. And for F, it is 5% every 8th year. So we know that the demand has direct impact on the quantity sold. So for simplicity, this is the demand and this is the quantity sold. And then we should know the margin for each product. So product A has 30% margin, then B has 10% margin, because we are starting with this sales revenue and then we will work out the cost of sales. So we should know the margin percentage for each product. So with respect to the user experience, all of the assumptions with respect to each product is given in a single table, which is easy to understand. And for dynamic purposes, we have added a drop down here from which the user can opt for one of the quantity mix, and the financial model will reflect the change. And you can see here that there are blank cells below. So these blank cells are coming up from these cells. If we go to the reference in data validation to this option cell, so you can see that the range contains the blank cells as well. And we also know that price is also susceptible to change. So for the price increase, we have this set of assumption which is almost the same just as the previous video, in which we assumed increase percentage for inflation. And if you want to know how we set up that inflation assumption and how we use the formula, index match formula, to get the inflation percentages onto our working sheets, so please go and check out that video. Here we have the price increase already built in, so we are not going to repeat all of that we discussed in the previous video. So this is our percentage. Up till the 5th year it's 6%, and afterwards it's 8%, and from 11th year onward it is 6%, which is what is disclosed in the assumptions. So we have the price increase. We can pick the price for the first year. So we know that this is the price, the only price for the first year. Just link the cells and copy it to the rest of the cells. We know that we have a product F as well. We can add in the product F, just add in the row and press Ctrl D. There were no anchoring of cell references, so this was very easy to add in the product. So we have the product for the first year. We can easily multiply it with the increased percentage into 1 plus the increased percentage. This can be increased for the previous year or for the current year. I think it should be the current year, and just anchor in the row number so that it is the same for all of the products. Bracket close, copy it to the rest of the cells, and we will have the increased percentage. If you want to continue it beyond the 15th year, you can do it, but I am just going to close it up till the 15th year. So we have the price. Now we need to know the quantity for each year, because we have multiple options. So we need to make it dynamic. So quantity for the first year can be from option 1, from option 2, from option 3, or from the new options created afterwards. So we can use the help of index match formula. Because it is two-dimensional, we have the products, we have the options. So we will have to use the match formula as well. So equal to index and the array reference should contain all of this, including the blank cells as well. Press F4. Now we need to apply the match formula to get the row number. So match formula should tell us this. It's D19. I'm not going to click it. Okay, I'm going to click it and tell you what happens. So as soon as I clicked it, it is also including the sheet name, which is not required. So D19 is our match criteria. So I think no need to log in because we are not going to copy it to the rest of the cells. And where we are going to find it, we are going to find it here, and we have to include the first cell as well because it is part of the overall array. So we have done this. Press F4 and the match type should be exact. And now the column number. So for column number, we are going to say that pick up from this cell in which we have applied the data validation drop down list. Press F4 because this should be the same for all. And then we are going to tell that use this array reference from the first cell of the array. Press F4 and should be an exact match as well. And we are done with the index formula. And press enter. Let us see what happens. And we are going to copy it to the rest of the cells. So let us see if it is picking up the correct option, quantity mix. So this is option 2 and 100, 50, 50, 200 and 150. So it has picked up the correct mixture. So if we select option 1, so now it is picking up the quantity mix for option 1. Now we can, now we need to know the production increase. So we know that it is every nth year for different products. The nth year is different as well. So let us apply the MOD formula. So we are going to say that if the result of MOD formula. So what is MOD formula? We are going to say that the year number and lock in the row, the year number divided by the nth year. So in this case, it is in column L. So we have to lock in the column L. So if the result is 0, then it should pick up this percentage. So this is column K. We have to lock in the column K. Press F4 and we have locked the column. Then it will pick up the increase percentage. Otherwise, it is going to return 0. So let us see if our formula is working correctly and press enter. So it is saying 0% for this one. Copy it to the rest of the cells and see what happens. So product A has to increase every third year. So it's doing the thing correctly. So every third year. Then product B every fourth year. So same. Product F is every 8th year. So product F is every 8th year. So there is no product F. Let us add in the product F. We have inserted the row and press Ctrl D for copying the cells formulas down. So you can see that this was very simple because we anchored properly. So it is increasing in the 8th year. So every 8th year it has increased the value or percentage. Now let us increase the quantity sold equal to quantity sold into 1 plus the increase percentage. And no need to anchor anything. Bracket close, copy it to all of the cells. So we have our quantity sold, we have the price, and here is just the multiplication of the quantity and the price to get us the revenue. So we have revenue in respect of all of the products except F product. Let us press Ctrl D and we will have the product. We just have to adjust the sum formula. Okay, now we have the F product as well. Let us go to now cost of sales. We know that we have the margin percentage. Add in a new row, press Ctrl D. We have the percentage for F as well. Now it's very simple. We just have to divide the revenue of each product by 1 plus the margin percentage. We just have to lock in the column. Press F4, price. So we have logged in the column. Bracket close, press enter. Now just copy it to all other cells. We can add in the rows here and we can write here revenue and cost of sales. Now link both of these elements. So this is your revenue and your cost of sales, and the result will be your gross profit. Add in the borders and copy it to the rest of the cells. So this was the revenue and cost of sales for a trading concern. There can be so many other business scenarios, but for the time being, just see this and absorb this one. In the next video, we will discuss about the finances and the sources of finances. So stay tuned. See you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.